Imagine a world where the hum of the grid has been replaced by the silence of dead cities, and the only law left is the one you enforce with your own hands. You are part of a small, hardened group of preppers who thought they were ready for the end, only to discover that surviving the initial blackout was just the warm-up. Now, as winter approaches and resources dwindle, you must venture into the valley, a region rumored to hold supplies, but also teeming with desperate survivors and ruthless raiders. Welcome to Into the Valley, the second gritty, realistic, and deeply suspenseful installment in James Hunt's Grid Down Prepper Thriller series. If you love tactical survival tropes, realistic logistics, and stories that explore the sheer, unadulterated terror of facing a society that has turned on itself when the comforts of electricity are gone, this audiobook will completely consume you. It is a masterclass in survival fiction, blending the visceral chill of a frozen world with the profound resilience of the human spirit. The narrative kicks off with our protagonist making the difficult decision to leave the safety of their homestead, thrusting them into a race against time to secure critical medical supplies before the cold becomes lethal. The atmosphere is thick with the crunch of snow under boots, the smell of wood smoke and fear, and the creeping dread of knowing that every shadow could hide an ambush. Hunt excels at capturing the psychological toll of long-term isolation, making every scavenging run, every tense negotiation, and every narrow escape feel like a high-stakes gamble where the price of failure is not just death, but the loss of the family waiting back home. At the core of the book's massive appeal is its uncompromising commitment to tactical realism and the spectacular resource management dynamic. This isn't a story about zombies or mutants. It's about the brutal, exhausting reality of staying alive when the infrastructure vanishes. Watching the protagonist navigate the treacherous social hierarchy of the wasteland, form tentative alliances with other survivors, and use their wits and weapons to outsmart raiders who have turned violence into a survival tactic is incredibly gripping. The audiobook narration brings the visceral impact of the survival mechanics to life, making the crack of a rifle, the shudder of a dying engine, and the heavy silence of a world without power feel incredibly real and deeply immersive. But beyond the spectacular action and the survival mechanics, the soul of Into the Valley lies in its characters and the heavy burden of leadership. The protagonist isn't an invincible killer. They are a deeply human individual struggling with the moral weight of doing what is necessary to protect those they care about. The emotional anchor of the story is their fierce, unbreakable loyalty to the small group of survivors they manage to protect, a found family bound by the shared trauma of the collapse. The audiobook format elevates these intimate moments, making the quiet, desperate conversations by a campfire feel just as impactful as the explosive, chaotic firefights on the perimeter. As the plot accelerates towards its climax, the pacing becomes utterly breathless. A major raider gang targets the community sanctuary, forcing them into a desperate, high-stakes last stand. The finale is a breathtaking display of tactical brilliance, overwhelming improvisation, and raw, unbridled courage. The protagonist must use every hidden trick, every overloaded trap, and every ounce of their will to hold the line against an unstoppable tide. The payoff is spectacular, delivering a massive, hard-earned victory that proves humanity's will to survive is stronger than the darkness. Into the Valley is a triumph of the post-apocalyptic thriller series. It is smart, gritty, and unapologetically intense. James Hunt has crafted a sequel that perfectly captures the thrill of the ultimate underdog holding the line. Plug in your headphones, check your perimeter, and join the survivors. The grid is down, but their fight for tomorrow is just beginning.